Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, my name is Tanisha and I love to take you along on my reading journey. And in today's video I'm going to take you along for 5 days where I switch out the times I picked up my phone for pages to read. You have probably all seen the challenges where people change out their screen time with reading, but I wanted to switch things up, so I'm going to read a page for every single time that I picked up my phone. My phone tracks the times I pick up my phone the same way as it tracks the screen time, so it's pretty easy for me to see how much I did pick up my phone. So for example, yesterday I picked up my phone 13 times, which means I would have to read 13 pages, but I'm going to take the screen time or pickup times from the week before. Today is Tuesday, the first day of this challenge, which means I'm going to look up my pickup count for last Tuesday, which was June 3rd, and I picked up my phone 70 times that day, which means I'm going to have to read a minimum of 70 pages today. I'm currently in the middle of Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, which is a contemporary romance book about socialites in London. So I'm pretty much reading about rich people's problems, and it really gives me Gossip Girl vibes, but a little bit different. The drama and the toxic relationships are very similar to Gossip Girl, but there are enough differences for me to not be like, this is just a complete rip-off. But the vibes are similar enough for me to enjoy this book. It took me a long time to get into the book. I think it took me about 60% until I was confident enough to continue the book. And pretty much up until the 60% mark, I was contemplating DNFing the book. But I'm very happy that I continued, because now I'm 80-ish% into the book and I'm very invested now. I'm currently at page 300, which means I would have to read until at least page 370. So I'm going to work now, and then I'm going to school to work on my assignments, and I'm going to read during my study breaks, just like how I am reading all my books right now, because I'm very busy with school. And I will talk to you when I get home this afternoon. I'm home from work and school, and I read during my study breaks, like I said. And I'm currently at page 401, which means I read 101 pages so far, which is 30 pages more than my reading goal. And honestly, this book made it pretty easy to read those 70 pages, and I can see myself finishing this book today. I'm 91% into the book, so I only have 40-ish pages left. So I'm just going to finish the book, and we'll talk to each other when I'm done reading this book. I finished Magnolia Parks. I really enjoyed this book. The writing of Jessa Hastings is very easy to read and also very entertaining, but it just took me way too long to get into the story to really give it 4 stars. Yeah, I think I'm going to give it 3 stars. Like, it is a good book, but it just took me too long to get invested into the characters to really give it 3.5 stars. But I want to continue the series because the ending of this book was very good. And I feel like I haven't gotten much of BJ and Magnolia's story. So I want to continue the series to get more of their relationship and see where it goes. I know the next book is about a different girl, but it is about a boy that we meet in this book. And he is quite mysterious, in my opinion. We have gotten some context about what he is and what he does, but not enough to really know him. And I want to know him because he sounds very interesting. So yeah, 3 stars for Magnolia Parks. There's this one quote at the end of the book that I really want to read to you. It goes like, "Can you die from a broken heart, do you know? And if I did, and they cut me wide open, would I bleed loving him? When they lift my heart out of my chest cavity to weigh it, does it weigh the same as his top lip? Is his name carved into my 3rd rib to the left? Bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. He's killing me. Loving him is killing me too, and I'm afraid, because how many loves really do you get in a lifetime? How many chances do you give it before you let it go? I'm letting it go." That's so painful, but also so beautiful. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, which means it is the 2nd day of this challenge where I read a single page for every time I pick up my phone. And today I have to read 124 pages. But before we do that, I want to talk about what I did yesterday after I last updated you. I think we last spoke when I finished Magnolia Parks, and after that I started a new book, which is the 2nd book in the series, which is Daisy Haites. And whoa, I already told you that it took me 60% to get into Magnolia Parks, and I really thought this book was going to have the same slow beginning, because even though it is the 2nd book in the series, it is about completely different characters, so I still would have to get used to them. But I was invested from page 1. Daisy Haites is way more interesting to read about than Magnolia Parks. I still liked Magnolia, but her story was a little bit more cutesy. Like, she goes shopping, she goes to lunch. Even though she has her drama, her life was pretty PG, and Daisy Haites is the complete opposite. I read until page 150 yesterday, which means I read 140 pages in Magnolia Parks and then 150 pages in Daisy Haites, which means I read 290 pages when my reading goal was 70, which is crazy. I don't think I can read that much today, but we'll see. I at least have to read 124 pages, which means my reading goal is to read to at least page 274. So far, I like this book way more than Magnolia Parks, even though there's not a whole lot happening. I mean, there is stuff happening, but this book is more a character-driven book than a plot-driven book. But I honestly love character-driven stories, especially when the characters are very interesting to read about. And Daisy Haites is very interesting to read about, as well as the other 2 characters. The first book in the Magnolia Parks universe only has 2 POVs, and this book has 3. So that makes the story read very quickly. And another thing that I want to talk to you about is that I love that I went into the series blind, because I honestly thought, and I don't know why, but I thought Daisy Haites and Magnolia Parks were besties. They're not besties, like, at all. So that was very fun to figure out. I don't know why I thought they were besties. I think I just assumed because they were both living in London and they both have books. So I thought maybe this was a big found family where Magnolia and Daisy were like soul sisters, but they're not besties. I have about 30 minutes until I have to go to work, so I'm going to read for a bit, because 124 pages are a lot, so I want to get a head start, and we will talk to each other when I get back home. home it is 6 p.m. ish. So I had a long day. I went to work and then school. You saw me reading during my study breaks, and now I'm home ready to read all afternoon because I'm so invested in this book. I'm currently at page 215, so I haven't reached my reading goal yet, but that's okay because it's only 6 p.m. so I have plenty of time to reach my reading goal. And according to my Kindle, I only have 4-ish hours left into this book, so I'm either going to finish it tonight or tomorrow because I'm so invested. I really love Jessa Hastings' writing style. The chapters are very short, and because there are 3 POVs right now, it is very interesting to jump back and forth between the characters, and they are all just so interesting. I've been thinking about continuing reading every time I couldn't read, so during my work hours and during the times where I actually was working on my assignments, I was constantly thinking about my next break where I could read. So it's safe to say that I am eating this book up and I'm not leaving any crumbs. Those are my thoughts, and I will talk to you again when I have more. I am in a hurry because I should have left my house like 10 minutes ago, so I'm going to keep this quick. Good morning. Today is Thursday, which means it is the 3rd day of this challenge, and my reading goal for today is to read 88 pages. I read Jessa Hastings until page 320 yesterday, so I have to read until at least page 408 to reach my reading goal for today. So yeah, let's get this day started, I guess. I'm currently at page 455, which means I'm well over my reading goal because I only had to read until like page 408 to hit the 88 page mark, but I read way more. I really liked the book, but I don't think this is going to be a 5-star book just because some of the dialogues that I'm reading about are similar to the dialogues in Magnolia Parks. So, like I said, Magnolia Parks and Jessa Hastings live in the same universe. They both live in London and they have some mutual friends or mutual people in their life, which means that some of the situations that you read about in Magnolia Parks are the same as you will read in Jessa Hastings because there are characters in Jessa Hastings who were in the same situation as Magnolia and BJ's. So you read about the same conversation but just from the opposite perspective. And I don't think that is too bad if you don't read the books back to back. But since I read the first book right before starting the second book, the conversations are still very fresh in my mind. So that's why it feels a little bit repetitive. But that is honestly my only note on this book, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that this series is not as bingeable as I would like it to be, and it only happened like 2 or 3 times. So it's not like the entire book is just the same as the first book but from different perspectives. The plot in this book is still very different than the plot in the first book. So yeah, I am 88% into the book right now, so I am planning on finishing it today, and then I will give you my final thoughts tomorrow as well as the next book that I'm going to read. I thought it would be fun to look at my page count already for tomorrow, just to see what we're going to have to do tomorrow. Looking at my screen time and the times I picked up my phone last week on Friday, I only have to read 39 pages tomorrow, so that's good. I'm going to finish Daisy Haites, and I will talk to you tomorrow when I start my next book. It is Friday, which means it is day 4 of this challenge. I don't remember on the top of my head how many pages I have to read today, but I will pop it on the screen again. And it's pretty easy to determine the reading goal for today because I'm starting a new book. I finished Daisy Haites yesterday and I gave it 4.5 stars. I don't think it is a surprise when I tell you that I was obsessed with this book. I was hooked from page 1 and I could not put it down. I really wanted to binge this book. Every time I wasn't reading, I was constantly thinking about wanting to pick the book back up. It's time to pick the next book. I have 2 books in mind to start. I can either start Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This is a new release. This only came out on Tuesday. So this is freshly printed and I'm very excited to read it. But I'm also very excited to just continue the Magnolia Parks Universe, and especially when I only have 2 days left and both of those days are small page counts. So it is very possible that if I start this book now, I won't be able to finish it in this video, and I really want to make a video about this book, but I'm not planning on making a video about the rest of the Magnolia Parks Universe because the further you go into a series, the less you can talk about it, especially when you're doing a spoiler-free reading vlog, because at that point everything that you say is a spoiler for the first 1 or 2 books. So I think I'm just going to start the 3rd Magnolia Parks book, which is called Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home. I think I'm going to read that book and then finish that book after I finish this video tomorrow, and then I can make a full reading vlog for this book. So those are my plans. Good morning. Today is Saturday, which means it is the last day of this challenge. Yesterday I had to read until page 39 because that was my reading goal. I started a new book, so it was pretty easy to decide what page count I should stop at. I ended up reading a little bit more. I think I stopped reading at page 47 yesterday, so I read 8 pages more than I had to, which is great because I had a busy day. So still being able to read a little under 50 pages was a big achievement for me. Today I have another pretty busy day, so that's why I'm starting now. It is 8:50 a.m. right now, and I'm going to read all the pages that I have to do now because I don't have any time the rest of the day to read. So my reading goal for today is to read 43 pages, and since I am at page 47 right now, I have to read until page 90 of my current book to reach my reading goal, and that's all I'm going to read. I'm going to read now, and I will talk to you after I finish my pages to give you a final update and to finish this video. I finished the 43 pages that I had to read today, and with that I finished the challenge. I read a single page for every time I picked up my phone this week and more, because the first 2 or 3 days I really reached my reading goal and went above and beyond with the pages I read. And then yesterday and today I read only a couple pages more than I had to, just because I was a little bit more busy. But that's life, I guess. You don't have the same amount of time every day to read. I did spend way less time on my phone though, because I was reading this much, so that is a very good plus. And I have made some good progress in books that I'm actually enjoying. I obviously finished Magnolia Parks this video. I started and finished Jessa Hastings, and I'm now 20% into Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home. So I have read a lot this week, which I'm very happy about, because even though I'm very busy with school and work, I try to prioritize reading as much as possible, because reading is just my favorite thing to do, to unwind and just have time for myself, I guess. So I'm very happy that I did this challenge. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Comment down below if you want me to do this more often, and I will see you in my next video whenever I post it. Bye!